Hello guys and welcome to another MK Mobile character review, today featuring another basic gold card, Grandmaster Sub-Zero. As usual guys, please note the date when this video has been recorded because a lot of things may have changed since then, and if you're not familiar with the matrix I'm using in order to evaluate characters, you can find it on the top right corner of the screen. So without any further ado, let's put Grandmaster Sub-Zero to the test. Grandmaster Sub-Zero guys was released on the 7th of April 2015, and ever since then he has always been a top tier basic gold character, and his original price in the old store was 330 souls. So let's check whether that soul price was actually worth it. As usual, let's start with the attack. It is 39,123, the 44th highest in MK Mobile and the 24th highest among the gold characters. The hit points, they're 88,320, the 36th highest overall and the 16th in the Gold League. The toughness is 37,800, the 28th highest in MK Mobile and the 10th highest among the gold characters. Pretty impressive work when it comes to toughness. And the recovery is 32,130, which is the 38th highest overall and the 21st in the Gold League. The power generation is just 100%, so for his stats, Grandmaster Sub-Zero gets 15.2 out of 28 possible points. Special one of Sub-Zero guys is called Ice Bow, and quite frankly this is my favorite ability of this character for the reason that it can be easily chained, and every time when I play Grandmaster Sub-Zero I'm spamming it as many times as possible. So let's take a more detailed look at Grandmaster Sub-Zero Special 1. This ability can be completely blocked by the opponent, it has freeze as debuff, it can be cast from distance, even at long range it will be okay. It is lethal, it consists of one mini hit and it has the multi-tap circle as minigame. When it comes to damage, the minimum damage of the ability is 12,910, which is the 55th highest in the game and the 35th among the gold characters. The maximum damage is 25,821, the 54th highest overall and the 28th highest in the Gold League. Once again, the ability can be blocked by the opponent, it has freeze as debuff, it can be cast from distance, it is lethal, it consists of one mini hit and it has the multi-tap circle as minigame. So for his special one, Grandmaster Sub-Zero gets 9 out of 13 possible points. Special 2 of Grandmaster Sub-Zero guys is called Clone Toss. Basically Sub-Zero creates a clone out of himself and then throws this clone at the enemy. Even though this ability is not bad, I prefer spamming his special 1. Anyways, since this part of the video is about his special 2, let's start and take a look at it. This special attack can be completely blocked by the opponent, it doesn't have any buff or debuff. It can be cast from distance, even though the first mini hit will miss, but this is not a big deal because the damage dealt by this mini hit is neglectable. The ability is lethal, it consists of 2 mini attacks and it has the single tap circle as minigame. When it comes to damage, the minimum damage of Sub-Zero Special 2 is 33,567, the 47th highest in the game and the 24th among the gold characters. The maximum damage is 65,844, the 55th highest in MK Mobile and the 29th in the Gold League. Once again, let's take a look at the properties of the ability. It can be blocked by the opponent, it doesn't have any buff or debuff, it can be cast from distance, it is lethal, it consists of 2 mini attacks and it has the single tap circle as minigame. So for his special 2, Grandmaster Sub-Zero gets again 9 points, but this time out of 19 possible. The X-ray of Grandmaster Sub-Zero guys is called Deep Freeze and it looks exactly the same way it looks for every single Sub-Zero in the game, except for of course MK11 Sub-Zero. What you need to know about this special attack is that first it can be cast from distance without issues and it has shield as buff, which is very useful because as you know the shield will be applied to all members of your team. Anyways, let's take a look at the damage of the X-Ray. It is 78,754, the 62nd highest in the game and the 37th in the Gold League. Once again, the X-Ray has shield as buff and it can be cast from distance. So Sub-Zero gets 3.5 out of 4 points in this section, and when it comes to the points he gets for his special attacks in total, they are 21.5 out of 36 possible. Now, Grandmaster Sub-Zero, guys, doesn't have the best basic attacks in the game without any doubt. He is average when it comes to speed and slightly above average when it comes to chaining. The truth is that at least, unlike his nemesis Inferno Scorpion, Grandmaster Sub-Zero has two different basic attacks combos, and unfortunately he doesn't push opponents back if they're blocking, which always leaves him vulnerable for counterattack. So in a nutshell, his speed is once again average, the chaining of his basic attacks is not good, but I would say slightly above average, so I would recommend to play him with block breaker equipment if you are not certain that you can handle him without it. So I'll be giving him 3 points for speed and 3.5 for chaining, for the total of 6.5 out of 10 possible points. The passive of Grandmaster Sub-Zero, guys, is called Ice Decoy. Basically, Sub-Zero replaces himself with a decoy and thus he can evade a fatal blow. And not only that, but when he comes back, he does it at around 30 to 40% HP. It should be somewhere around that number. So this is a very useful passive, guys, even though it is more than 4 years old. It is not just useful in Faction Wars, by the way. You can use it in challenges, you can use it in Tower of Horror, you can use it in Shao Kahn's Tower, you can use it in boss battles, and it is still very useful everywhere. You can literally use it to eat an X-ray if you are low on HP and then come back with a higher HP, so the passive will not only save you from dying, but in a way it will also heal you. Once again, Ice Decoy is a very useful ability even now, 4 years after the release of the character. The only problem I have with it is that it doesn't offer anything extra. For example, no bars of power, no extra buffs or debuffs on the opponent, it is just the evading that thing. But after all, we have to admit that Grandmaster Sub-Zero is just a basic gold character and we cannot really expect amazing passive out of him. So I'll be giving 15 points for Grandmaster Sub-Zero's passive. He is just a martial artist, so he gets 1 point for classes and 0 points for tagging attack because he doesn't have any. Okay guys, we got to the place where we have to decide whether Grandmaster Sub-Zero is a good character, and quite honestly guys, I really like the character. He has decent stats for a basic character. Quite honestly, his stats are almost as good as some challenge characters, for example Unstoppable Jason. He also has a very useful special 1, decent special 2, his basic attacks are okay, nothing really special, but they're not terrible. His passive is extremely useful even now, 4 years after the character has been released, and I do believe that this passive is one of the best passives when it comes to basic gold character, guys. So with all that said, I'll be giving Grandmaster Sub-Zero 2 out of my 3 subjective points. I really like the character. The only reason why I'm not giving him the full amount of points is that there are characters out there who have similar passive and they work better. And of course faster when it comes to finishing hard battles. So with my 2 subjective points, Grandmaster Sub-Zero scores 61.3 out of 102 points, and we can label him as a good character. Final verdict, good character. Grandmaster Sub-Zero, guys, is a very good and safe opener. However, if I play him inside a basic gold team, I tend to use other cards on that spot. Reason being, I want to give him gear focused on attack and damage and critical hit chance and so on and so on, and this is not a good idea for any opener, as most of the cases you get power drained, stunned, you get put on fire and so on and so on. So at the end of the day, it all depends on you and your playstyle whether you use him as an opener. Either way, he will do just fine. And regardless of your choice, whether you keep him as opener or not, you need to keep spamming his special 1, not only because it is a good ability and it can be chained, but because in the feats of strength section, Sub-Zero gains lethal blow chance based off the usage of his special 1, and as you well know, lethal blow is an incredibly important thing in MK Mobile. Now, because of the nature of his passive, it is really hard for me to tell you which of the characters that Grandmaster Sub-Zero counters. They can be every character, literally, but when it comes to characters that counter Grandmaster Sub-Zero, I can think of only one hard counter, and this is of course Conqueror Shao Kahn, because if Sub-Zero is below 40%, his passive won't be triggered. And also there should be other difficult matchups, Ravenous Melina, Punkasi and Assassin Jade, and so on and so on, but I'd say that Conqueror Shao Kahn is his real and only hard counter in the game. Okay guys, we got to the items. Now here it all depends on whether you're going to use him as an opener or not. If he is your opener, then give him Devastator as weapon, Shao Kahn helmet or Earth Elemental face mask in the armor slot, depending on which one you have on high fusion, and of course Sindel's ring. As accessory, it's really important that you keep Sindel's ring on your third slot in all your openers, with some exceptions of course. If Grandmaster Sub-Zero doesn't happen to be your opener, then again give him a Devastator. A Devastator still works, with the only exception that it doesn't power drain the opponent, but it can still work even if your character is not your opener. Again, Shao Kahn helmet or Earth Elemental face mask in the armor slot, and Bloody Voodoo Doll as accessory. And here we are guys, we got to the teams section. Now in my opinion there are two great type of teams that you can put Grandmaster Sub-Zero in. The first one is a basic gold martial artist team. For example, that can include Ninjutsu Scorpion, Cryomancer Sub-Zero and Grandmaster Sub-Zero, or Ninjutsu Scorpion, Grandmaster Sub-Zero and Hattrick Kung Lao, and so on and so on. And if you want, of course, you can put a challenge character like Cyrax, but I wouldn't recommend. I believe that if you keep all three characters at basic gold, it will be funnier and better, because you're not going to get a lot of difficult opposition. And of course, you can put Grandmaster Sub-Zero in an Undying team that should involve Warlock Quan Chi, or any Jason, or Spec Ops Scorpion, and so on and so on. I believe you get the idea. This is a team where nobody can just die, then they all get to have second or third chance to live. Grandmaster Sub-Zero, what do you think of him? Do you like him? Do you dislike him? Please let me know in the comments. He scored 61.3 on our scale, and we labeled him as a good character. As usual guys, if you want to see more reviews, you can find the playlist on the top right corner of the screen, and if you want to know which is the next on-demand review, you can find the list in the description of this video. See you in the next one guys. Take care.
You evoke pity, not fear.
Perfect.